Have you ever opened your banking app and kind of braced yourself? Like you're about to read a breakup text or something, and then, well, nothing bad happens. No gasp, no dramatic sigh. You don't immediately close the app like it's cursed or about to charge you extra just for looking. You just stare at the number for a second and think, huh, okay, we're, uh, we're alive. And that moment isn't random. It actually happens at a very specific point. And honestly, it's way lower than most people think. Because the internet will tell you that you need $1 million to feel rich, or at least six figures. Like the second you hit 100,000, confetti falls from the sky and you suddenly understand taxes, investing, and why everyone keeps talking about Roth IRAs. But that's not really how it works in real life. There's a much smaller milestone that quietly flips a switch in your brain. And once you hit it, money stops feeling like an emergency and starts feeling more like a tool. That number is $20,000. Oh, wait. Hey, I'm Leo, and welcome to Money with Leo. This is where we talk about money in a way that's not scary, not boring, and actually human. We break it down step by step so your money works for you instead of you living paycheck to paycheck and only being able to afford plain noodles for dinner. If you want to understand money without being yelled at by some guy in a rented yellow Lamborghini, go ahead and subscribe. And if this video helps at all, hit the like button so the algorithm doesn't bury it next to conspiracy theories and slime videos. All right, let me ask you something. When you imagine building wealth, what do you picture? Maybe it's a trust fund kid whose biggest struggle was choosing between Yale and Stanford. Or maybe it's someone grinding nonstop, saving pennies, feeling like progress is painfully slow. Here's the truth, though. Wealth doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows in stages. There are these financial checkpoints, kind of invisible ones, and every time you pass one, the game changes. $20,000 is the first real checkpoint. It's the difference between one bad bill could completely ruin me and, okay, this is annoying, but I'll survive. And honestly, most people don't even realize this line exists. Think of it like trying to start a lawnmower that's been sitting in a garage since 2007. You pull the cord, nothing happens. You pull harder, still nothing. You're sweating, you're annoyed. Your neighbors are absolutely judging you. That's what saving money feels like at the beginning. But once the engine finally kicks on, it just keeps running. That's $20,000. That's the engine starting. Before this point, everything feels hard. After it, things don't suddenly become easy, but they do become possible. And here's the wild part. The biggest change isn't actually your bank account. It's your brain. When you have little to no savings, your brain is basically stuck in permanent panic mode. Every decision feels urgent. You take bad jobs because you can't afford to wait. You stay in situations you hate because quitting feels risky. You say yes to things you don't want to do because you need the paycheck. That's not weakness. That's survival. A brain in survival mode can't really plan long term. It's too busy putting out fires. You can't think about investing or career growth when you're worried about rent. That's like trying to plan a wedding while your house is actively flooding. It's just not happening. But once you cross that $20,000 mark, something shifts. You stop asking, how do I survive this month? And you start asking, okay, how do I make this money work? You move from reactive to intentional. And there's actual research behind this. Vanguard found that having just $2,000 in emergency savings increases financial well-being by over 20%. $2,000. That's not rich. That's just, my car can break and I won't spiral. Push that cushion to a few months of expenses, roughly $20,000 for most people, and suddenly your brain has room to breathe. That's when real planning starts. Now let's talk momentum for a second. Say you're saving $1,000 a month and earning around 8%. Your first $20,000 takes about 19 months. That's a long time. That's saying no to things. That's meal prepping when you really don't feel like it. And yeah, that's where most people quit. But your second 20,000, it actually takes less time, about 17 months. Same effort, same savings, but now your money is helping you. Compound interest is finally doing some of the work. By the third 20,000, it's even faster. Eventually, the timeline shrinks so much it almost feels unfair. Once you have around 400,000 invested, your next 20,000 can show up in about 5 months without you changing anything. The thing that once felt impossible is now just quietly happening in the background. And no, this isn't because rich people have secret investments hidden in underground vaults. It's just math. 10% on $1,000 is $100. That's fine. 10% on $20,000 is $2,000. Okay, now we're paying attention. At $20,000 invested, earning 8%, you're making about $1,600 a year without working extra hours. Money that didn't come from your boss. Money that showed up because you waited. But honestly, the most valuable thing you gain at $20,000 isn't the money. It's the proof. Think about what it actually takes to save that much from zero. You had to track spending. You had to say no. You had to ignore impulse buys. You had to be consistent. And by doing that, you proved to yourself that you can control your money instead of it controlling you. That identity shift matters more than any return. You're no longer bad with money. You're someone who follows through. And there's another subtle change that happens. Problems stop feeling like disasters. Car repair? Annoying. Laptop dies? Frustrating, but solvable. Rent goes up? Well, time to negotiate or level up. These things used to derail your entire month. Now, they're just speed bumps. You also start seeing opportunities you couldn't touch before. Business ideas, investments, career moves. Before, these were just sounds cool thoughts. Now, they're actual options. This is what people mean when they say money creates opportunity. Not because it's magical, but because it removes fear. You also stop obsessing over tiny purchases. When you're broke, you debate every coffee. When you're stable, you focus on the big stuff: housing, income, investing. And honestly, that's freeing. You stop wasting mental energy on $3 decisions and start optimizing $30,000 ones. Your career changes too, because $20,000 is walking away money. You don't need to quit, but you could. And just knowing that changes how you show up. You negotiate better. You push back. You take smarter risks. Confidence goes up. Results follow. But here's where people mess this up. They hit $20,000 and immediately spend it. New car, fancy trip, lifestyle inflation. Don't do that. This money isn't a trophy. It's the foundation. Most people will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on cars over their lifetime and then say retirement feels impossible. That's not bad luck. That's decisions. Cars shrink your money. Investments grow it. Once you really understand opportunity cost, you stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, what is this costing future me? Suddenly, driving a boring car doesn't feel boring anymore. It feels smart. Here's the irony. The person with the flashy car is usually stressed. The person with the paid-off Honda is sleeping peacefully. $20,000 won't make you rich, but it will change how you think, how you work, and how you choose. It's the line between reacting to life and actually directing it. So yeah, start building toward it. Your future self is depending on you, and they'd really like to stop flinching every time they open their bank app.